All right, we're going to start with 8.12 or 8.12, and we're going to do the area. So these are some real-life application problems for finding the area. We are going to find this with one of our methods that we use to solve a quadratic, and we're going to be factoring these. So a few things to note before solving our area. Our area problems, let's get this over here. So mind you, our area formula, so A equals length times width, okay? And area, so area, length, and the width all have to be positive numbers. Okay, so they have to be positive numbers. Okay, all right. So that being said, knowing that area equals length times width. All right, so given the diagram below, find the value of x in the area of the rectangle, and that's 78 square meters. So we know that I have to multiply. So if this is my length and this is my width, I would have to multiply this whole thing times this whole thing. So I'm going to say is my x, okay, times x plus 7. And we said that it's going to equal 78 square meters, so equals 78. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and factor this. So I'm going to, what do I have to do? I have to get it equal to 0. So I'm going to take this and get it over to the left side. So I'm going to subtract 78. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply this. Okay, so multiply. So x times x is x squared. And then I have x times 7, which is plus 7x. And then I'm going to subtract my 78, which is right there. So then it equals 0. All right, so now I'm going to factor into my two binomials. So this type of thing. So again, it's going to have to multiply to get to negative 78, and it's going to have to add to get to 7. So if you like to make those the x, whatever you guys like to do, the x thing, or if you want to make your table, that's completely fine. But your numbers are going to be x, and then it's going to be plus 13, and x minus 6. Alright, so we know, hopefully you know this by just doing this a million times, it's going to be x plus 13 equals 0. So I'm going to get x all by itself. So I'm going to subtract 13 on each side. So this is going to be x equals negative 13. And then I have x equals positive 6. So this is my sign changes right there. Okay, so I know that it can't be negative 13 because it can't be a negative. So this can't be true. Okay, so that my x must be, so my x must be 6 what? And it's going to be square meters. So it's meters. Okay. So then if I ended up putting 6 in here, okay, and then 6 plus 7, okay, so 6 plus 7 is 13. So we have 13 times 6, and that does equal 78. So I know that I'm correct. All right, number 2 is the same way, and then I'm going to do number 3. Let's go to number 3. Find the dimensions of the rectangle below if the area is 128 square feet. Okay, so again, my area formula, area equals length times width. So I'm going to take this whole thing, and I'm going to multiply it by this whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to have x plus 7 times x minus 1. And it's going to equal 128. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this. So I'm going to FOIL it over here. So x plus 7 and x minus 1. So first terms, okay, x times x is x squared. Outer, x times negative 1. So negative 1x. Inner, 7 times x, so plus 7x, and then last, 7 times negative 1, negative 7. Okay, and you're going to notice that you're going to go ahead and be able to combine these two to give you now x squared plus 6x minus 7. Okay, so now that's going to go back in here. Okay, so again, FOIL. So now it's going to go x squared plus 6x minus 7 equals 128. Alright, so now you're going to go ahead and subtract this 128. I'm going to actually do this on this side over here. So I'm going to subtract 128, subtract 128, and then it's going to equal. So now I have 128 minus the 7 over here. It's going to give me negative 135. Okay, so I'm just trying to save some room. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead. Okay, let me just restart this one. I'll just do it down here for you guys. All right, equals 128, subtract 128, subtract 128. There we go. Now it's going to give me x squared plus 6x. And then negative 7 plus negative 128 is negative 135 equals 0. Alright, now we're going to factor. Alright. Multiplied and added. And it's going to be x plus 15. And then x minus 9. So again, so it's going to be x plus 15. So just to make sure you understand, x plus 15. Remember, this is going to equal 0. And then we have x minus 9 equals 0. Again, you're going to get x all by itself. So you're going to subtract 15 on this side to get x equals negative 15. See how your sign just changed? And then I'm going to add 9 to give you x equals 9. Again, sign changed. So the only one it could be is, it can't be negative 15, but it can be x equals 9. So here, it's going to be x equals 9. Okay, so this is going to be this. But that's not the question. The question was, it wants to find the dimensions. So now I'm going to have to substitute in. So this is going to be 9 minus 1, and then 9 plus 7. So my dimensions are going to be 8 feet, and then 9 plus 7 is going to be 16 feet. Those are my dimensions. This is going to be my answer. All right. 4 is the same thing. Let's do number 5. The length of the rectangular garden is 4 meters more than its width. The area of the rectangular garden, the area of the rectangle is 60 meters. Find the dimensions of the garden. All right, so I'm finding the actual length and I'm finding the actual width. Okay, so if I'm going to let x equals my width, and then if I let, so it says that the length of the rectangle garden is 4 meters more than the width. Okay, and so 4 meters more than the width is going to be x plus 4 is my length. All right, so again, I know that the rectangle is length times width, so it's going to be x times x plus 4, and it's going to equal 60. Okay, multiply, and I'm going to subtract 60 in a second. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 plus 4x, and I'm going to subtract 60 to give me, minus 60 equals 0. Factor. So I have x and x. Multiply to get negative 60, add to get 4. So I have plus 10, negative 6. 10 times negative 6 is negative 60. 10 plus negative 6 gives me 4. Okay, so again, I switch my signs over here, so it's going to be x plus 10 equals 0. Subtract 10 on each side, so this one gives me x equals negative 10. This is going to give me x equals positive 6. Again, can't be negative, can't be this one, so it's only going to be x plus 6. Sorry, x equals 6. So now you're going to actually plug this back in. So my one width is going to be 6. Okay, so my width is going to be 6, and it's meters. And then x plus 4, or 6 plus 4, is going to give me 10 meters. So we have 10 meters and we have 6 meters. All right, 6 is going to be the same. All right, let's do number 7. A square is altered so that one dimension is increased by 5 inches and the other dimension is decreased by 2 inches. If the area of the resulting rectangle is 98 square inches, find the area of the original square. All right, so if I let x equal the square side, all right, and then it says it's altered so that one dimension is increased by 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to let x plus 5 equal a rectangle side. Okay, and then it says, and the other dimension is decreased by 2 inches, so I'm going to let x minus 2 equal another rectangle side. All right, so I know that it says the area of the resulting rectangle is 98 square inches. So I'm going to multiply this side with this side. So it's going to be x plus 5 times x minus 2, and it's going to equal 98 square inches. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this. So I'm going to go off to the side here, x plus 5 and x minus 2. First, x times x, x squared. Outer, negative 2x. Inner, plus 5x. And last, negative 10. Okay, combine like terms, negative 2 and 5, so it gives me x squared plus 3x minus 10, and it's going to equal 98. So I'm going to bring this back into here, x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 98. All right. Go ahead and factor this. How about we not factor yet? We gotta make it 0. So subtract 98 from both sides. So that gives me x squared plus 3x minus 108 equals 0. Now let's factor it into two binomials. What times what is negative 108? And then those two numbers are going to add to get to 3. So it's going to give me x plus 12 and x minus 9. All right. So this one's actually going to equal x equals negative 12. Can't be that. So the only one's got to be is x equals 9. X equals 9. All right, so it's got to be that. So now it says find the area of the original square. Okay, so the original square, so if I know a square is, it's going to be that times itself, so it's going to be 9 times 9, so my square is going to be the square equals 9 squared, which is equal to 81 inches squared. Alright, so this is my answer here. Number 8. I will do, given the diagram to the left, if the area is of the shaded region is 59 square inches, what are the dimensions of the outside rectangle? Alright, this is x and this is x plus 3. Alright, so we got a lot going on here. So what I have to do is I have to multiply this by this, and then I have to subtract these, okay, the area of this. So I just want this. All right, so I'm going to do 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1 times x plus 6, and then I'm going to subtract x times x plus 3. And it says that the entire thing is going to be 59. Alright, so what I did is I took this entire rectangle, the outside one, if this all was shaded, this is going to be this part, and I'm going to subtract this white square right here, or sorry, the rectangle right here, which is this part right here, and this whole thing minus this is going to give me 59. Alright, so let's do this a little bit at a time. Okay, I need to FOIL this one, so I'm going to go off to the side over here. Sorry. 2x minus 1 and x plus 6. First, 2x times an x is going to be 2x squared. First outer, 2x times 6 is going to be 12x. Inner, negative 1x. And last, negative 1 times 6 is going to be negative 6. Combine like terms to give me 2x squared plus 11x minus 6. Alright, bring it back in. So 2x squared plus 11x minus 6. Alright, then I'm going to do this side. So negative x times an x is going to be negative x squared, and negative x times positive 3 is going to give me negative 3x, and then it's going to equal 59, but I'm really going to subtract 59 because I want it equal to 0, so it's going to give me minus 59 equals 0. Alright, I have some cleaning up to do, so let's add some like terms here. So 2x squared is going to go with this negative x squared. So 2 minus 1 is going to give me just an x squared. Alright, and I have 11x, positive 11x, can go with this negative 3x. So 11 minus 3 is going to give me 8x, so plus 8x, and then I have a negative 6, and I have negative 59, so negative 6 plus a negative 59 is going to give me negative 65 equals 0. Alright, let's go ahead and factor this. Multiply to get to negative 65 and to get to 8, so x plus 13 and x minus 5 equals 0. Okay, again, so it's going to be x equals negative 13, and then x equals positive 5. Can't be a negative, so it's got to be a 5. So then you're going to, so if you know that x equals 5, and you want the dimensions of the outside rectangle, so you want this and this. So what you're going to do is you're going to say x plus 6, and it's really going to be 5 plus 6. So this is going to be 11 inches. Okay, so 11 inches, and then you have 2x minus 1, and it's really 2 times 5 minus 1. 10 minus 1, so it's really going to be 9 inches. Okay, so your answers are going to be 9 and 11 inches. Alright, we'll do a couple of these ones, and then we'll be done with this lesson. Alright, so it says consecutive integers. So remember, consecutive means one after the other. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, consecutive numbers. Okay, consecutive integers. Remember, an integer is a positive and negative, or the, so it can be negative numbers, it can be positive numbers, but it has to be the whole numbers and their opposite. Alright, the product of two positive consecutive integers is 56. Find the integers. So the product, I know, means multiplication. Okay, so the multiplication of two positive consecutive integers is 56.